welcome back. There's snow on the ground. It's cold. It's miserable. Everything sucks now. Jerry called it chilly weather. What's the weather like down there, Jerry? Is it
We
cold?
are, I think, now hit 32.
Oh,
This
lucky.
is our first hard freeze, but no, it is nothing like what happened in South Bend yesterday, what is happening in Chicago as we speak. That's the areas I just know because I follow along. So, no snowfall for us yet. But yeah, we'll taste of winter here as we get near Thanksgiving.
No, it's
Yeah.
terrible. I hate it. I hate it.
No,
Was
this
in a
is
game and it was snowing and it was rain and then it was snow. It was miserable. It's the worst time of the year.
fellas. This is why we pick our careers carefully. As a grown man, on any given day, I get to enjoy snow day excitement level, just like when we were children. And the whole world is complaining about the snow. I want it to snow more. I need more snow.
What are you gonna do if they have like an e-learning day and you still have to
That
work?
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. And yeah, there's no way. There's no way I would ever. No, absolutely not. Dude, you're destroying the core memories of a child. When
Yeah, but
there's
we have
snow
the
days, you
technology
have
now
the
to do it.
obligation to go outside, go sledding, build a snowman, and enjoy being a child.
Yeah,
E-learning is the death of childhood.
you have to do that on the weekends now. It's just the way,
Yeah, that's what's gonna go. Oh God, no, dude. I'll
everything
go
changes.
if I had to e-learning on a weekend. I would be. There's no. I would quit my job immediately.
No, I'm not saying e-learning on the weekend. I'm saying that building snowmen and going
Mm-mm.
outside
Nope.
sledding has got to move to the weekend
Sorry,
now
no.
because you have e-learning during the week.
Well, the kids don't have their own computers, so that's kind of impossible.
I'm so glad we got to sit in on the school board meeting today here on this Sunday. That's what people come here for when they come to the V.O.C. is weather reports and school board discussions about e-days and snow days.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little
this
bit
is
of
great.
everything. No,
I
it's
have to
everything.
shovel whenever it snows, so now snow, not fun.
Oh, so.
No, we have a little bit of everything. We had a guy try to eat 4,000 calories this week. It did not work out. The video was hilarious though. So we give you that on a little wacky Wednesday action. Now we're back here on Sundays to break down sports and do what we need, do what we do. This is what we do. This is what makes the money. Creepy Photo says, "Welcome back, gents. Pleasure to see you guys. Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but
Well,
they
they
may have.
almost got Daniel Jones murdered today on the
Daniel
field.
Jones is starting to show he's Daniel Jones. I mean, and we'll talk about the NFL a little bit later, but yeah, I don't know. His mouth was bleeding. Looked like he had lipstick on there for a second.
The Joker
I mean, he made a good throw at the
and
end.
your
But
Joker. There you go.
oh, new nickname for him. Who would have thought? No more Indiana Jones. All right, looking at college football, I mean, we had a lot of craziness, right? We had the first college football playoff ranking poll come out. You're thinking, okay, like this is kind of what it is. No non-power team was ranked, but then Memphis ended up being in the playoff. Well, Memphis goes out Friday night and they lose to Tulane, 38-32, and now it's bye-bye playoffs for Memphis. And now we go into, okay, who are now the non-power fives that could potentially make the playoff? Changes a whole lot of stuff when you look at it. The ACC they're struggling, I would say. I mean, their highest ranked team was 14th in Virginia, and Virginia just lost to Wake Forest, 16-9. Louisville was complaining about having teams ranked ahead of them that they believed were not as good as them. Well, they end up losing to Cal 29-26. Trevor, we called Cal week too early.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Wisconsin announced this week that they're going to keep Luke Fickell, and then he goes out and gets a win over a ranked team of Washington, winning 13-10. Terrible field storming, in my opinion. You do not field storm for the 24th team in the country. I don't care how bad you are. It's embarrassing, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, a lot of shakeup so far, and we're coming down the home stretch in the college football season.
Watch James Madison. I think that's kind of one of the big takeaways I had in the immediate from, especially Friday. The American keeps beating up on itself, and an interesting note in the AP poll, which doesn't really mean anything now. We have the college football playoff rankings. James Madison is technically ahead of USF. I don't know how the committee is going to kind of process all this and where that goes because there were no G5 teams, if I remember, in the first college football playoff poll. So, we don't really have a great grasp, but right now, at least the college football media is kind of keeping an eye on James Madison because if the American keeps eating itself alive, as a Memphis-Tulane matchup does, they could just sneak in if they just win out. So that's that. I love JKS too. Like, I don't have much to say about Wake Forest, Virginia. Virginia's kind of getting away with it. I love JKS for Cal. That he is such a fun freshman QB. He had a lot of freshman QB moments. He's had a lot of them during the season. God, he's got a fun arm on him. Like, he's one of those guys I hope doesn't leave in the transfer portal, especially after Mendoza just left. And he's doing great in Indiana, but like, just having this cool guy that sneaks up on like your nightcap game, you're like, oh, Cal's within 3. Oh, their quarterback just threw a 40-yard bomb. That's kind of what he is. And then he throws a terrible pick in between. So very freshman-esque. And then Wisconsin, I'm very curious what this will look like a little bit longer term because what they're doing, it to me is, I think, kind of smart with Luke Fickell. As much as I know we've talked about him being on the hot board and rightfully so, Wisconsin said, hey, we're going to keep Luke for a year. Let's raise some money. Let's build a real roster, give this a real shot. And with how crazy the coaching carousel is, instead of trying to join in and hope that you get a good candidate, they're going to give it one more year. You're going to put everything in the money that you're supposed to be putting in here to this spot and give it one real chance before you jump in the market. And I like that approach. I think it's a little different. And with these teams now that are still waiting on if they fire a coach or not, this might not be a terrible move. Not that I think that's the reason they won this week. Washington's just weird. I think that's my good takeaway. And somehow Jed Fish's name keeps showing up for coaching carousel things, and I don't get it because this team is just flat out weird.
Yeah, I think the Tulane win was kind of surprising because they did lose last week, or did they have a bye last week? Last week they lost recently.
Yeah,
and a lot of people were throwing their head coach John Sumrall, his name around for all these big coaching jobs, specifically the SEC, and all that seemed to almost come to a halt last week after the loss. But this is another very good win for Tulane, so maybe keep hearing his name. ACC, like Caleb said, is terrible, and Wisconsin is interesting. I kind of do like what they're doing over in Wisconsin. Because instead of just adding to the craziness, like you said, Jerry, they're going to try it again.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin, of all the teams that have kind of are viewing the coaching debacles that they have going on, I think Wisconsin looks at it and says, hey, the Big Ten is harder than it's ever been. We no longer have the Big Ten West where we could easily win 9-10 games. And we're historically an 8-win, 9-win program anyways. I mean, their history of Wisconsin football goes back to 1989, and that's it. So it's not like a long history. Like, one man has built the program. That's Barry Alvarez, and he kind of, I would assume still, he's not the athletic director anymore, but I assume he still has big pull there in decision-making. And he's probably one of those old school guys that say, give a guy time, let him build a program, let him figure it out. Luke Fickell's not a bad coach. I mean, he took Cincinnati to the playoff when it was a 4-team playoff. So, I mean, he knows what he's doing when it comes to building a team. It's just you throw him in this new Big Ten, and it's like, whoa. So I do like it where they're like, hey, everybody else is firing their coach. Let's keep our guy. Let's see if he can figure it out. Maybe make a few changes, get some more money in here. Good. But looking at the ACC, though, I think it will be crazy down the stretch because I think at a certain point we maybe thought Miami was out of it. Now they kind of jump back into it. You still have Georgia Tech there with 1 loss. Miami has the 2 losses, and you looked at Virginia and you said, okay, looking at it, they were 14 and then they got into the playoff as of the de facto ACC champ in the last ranking. So you're kind of looking at it all and you're going, okay, clearly the ACC is only going to get 1 team in. So that may free up a spot for somebody else. And now it's kind of like trying to figure yourself out here. And with the ACC, it's just so goofy to me. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where they got 2 teams in last year. Clearly, they're going to get 1 team in. And it feels like they could have a 3-loss team in the playoff.
Yeah. Like, let's talk. It's on their screen here, but Duke is, I think, the prime example of this. We had these 2 upsets within conference this week. Duke goes to UConn, and UConn's not a bad team. I don't know if it's really like it's not this level of caliber of upset that we have on our screen. UConn has done really good. Jim Moore has done a fantastic job there. There needs to be credit here where credit's due. So I don't want to overly act like, oh my God, UConn's terrible. Duke lost them, but Duke lost them 37-34.
Yeah.
And right now they are in prime position to be in the ACC title game because they're a one-loss team. They have lost 3 games, all 3 of their games, non-conference games. They're in a really weird spot, and they're a team that could just be the automatic qualifier. I know you guys probably talked a fair bit about the college football playoff or initial rankings. They don't mean much right at this time, but there is a couple things we could take away from them. And the one I took away this weekend, I think, kind of proved this point. The committee does not like the ACC. The ACC has been weird, been awkward, don't really have a true contender. Everyone's just kind of mid. And now you got rid of divisions, but the ACC coastal vibes have just spread conference wide of these really mid-ass teams. Sorry here, children's program, just kind of figuring it out slowly. But like, I thought this was just a really funny ACC week at its peak, which is teams knocking each other out, good amount of chaos. And then the one team that might have a better track than anybody loses a non-conference game. And one of them that's in it, Wake Forest, if I remember, beat NC State in a non-conference game with a conference opponent.
Yeah, it's weird.
Just to add on to this fun. So, like, this is the most ACC thing ever. The ACC Coastal still exists. It's just now conference-wide. I missed that little division.
Yeah, so looking at Duke, they play Virginia this week, North Carolina, then Wake Forest. But, I mean, yeah, it's gross. You know, looking at the standings for the ACC, Georgia Tech is still 1, Virginia is with them. Pitt only has 1 conference loss. SMU only has 1 conference loss. Duke only has 1 conference loss. So, I mean, it's going to get real wacky.
Yeah, and I think, too, with, like, Georgia Tech, they still have to play Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that's out of conference, but still, I mean, that – and then they still have to play Pittsburgh, too, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they lose to Pittsburgh, though, Pittsburgh is probably going to be looking like close to the top of the ACC, which I kind of like Pittsburgh. But also, so yeah, the ACC is weird. This is just what happens. I love the playoff system. I love having it. It's better than 4 teams or whatever. But this is just kind of, we have to ask ourselves these kind of silly questions, because do any of these teams really deserve a shot at winning a national championship? Or I mean, realistically, can any of these teams do it? Maybe. But I mean, I actually don't think so. I don't think there's a single team in the ACC that could beat Alabama or Georgia.
No, and I think that's
Or
what the
Ohio
committee
State.
thinks. That's
Yeah.
what the committee thinks too, and why they ranked them. The one team you thought that could do it was Miami, and now they've kind of fluttered here towards the end. They could maybe pick it back up, and maybe dominoes fall in their favor. I mean, Pitt has a lot to prove this week. They play Notre Dame this week at home, right? And it's non-conference, but if they were to knock off Notre Dame or even play Notre Dame tough, that's going to give them some points moving forward. Like, okay, Pittsburgh's a good team because clearly the committee thinks very highly of Notre Dame. And then they have the Georgia Tech game, so it's like, okay, you know, it's like it's there for the taking in the ACC. Basically, if you want it, go take it. And it feels like so far Virginia and Louisville didn't want it, and they're kind of slipping at the time. So it's all about playing good at the right time.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of Clemson last year, where they kind of fluttered in the beginning, and then they ended up playing right. Good at the end of the year, ended up winning the ACC, getting into the playoff. So, you know, you look at it that way. So, yeah, it's just it's kind of clunky. It's kind of weird, you know, to think that Duke's 5-4, but has a chance to be in the ACC championship game.
Yeah.
If they would win that, they're in the playoff.
Yeah.
It's just gross.
Caleb, and I have a question, and obviously, Jerry, you can give an answer to this too, but it's about Notre Dame. So we go de facto to Caleb. I've seen a lot of people like kind of upset with Notre Dame being ranked so high or being in the college football playoff. Do you like agree, like see that side, or do you think it's completely kind of stupid to have that conversation? I think the biggest problem is that people are looking at that Miami loss and it's like aging like milk right now.
Yeah. I think there's two folds with the Miami losses. Yes, they did lose the game. And Miami now has 2 losses and is kind of before they beat Syracuse was kind of in limbo yesterday, right? But then I think there's another fold where they look at it and say that game was played in August. That was CJ Carr's first game. The weather sucked. It was on the road. They came back in that game to tie it, and then Miami beat them by a field goal.
Yeah.
And then I think you look at the Texas A&M and say, oh, they only lost by 1 point to a team that some consider the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
and and they botch snap, that game goes to overtime.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing too is it. I think it's the recency of them going to national title last year, and proving that they could kind of beat those teams last year for the first time in a long time. Now, if this was Notre Dame under Brian Kelly, say before that, where yeah, they made the playoff last year, maybe they beat Indiana and then they played Georgia and lost, then I think it'd be a little different. But I
Yeah.
think they think differently of Notre Dame, and I mean, outside of Boston College and the 2 losses, they have looked really, really well in the wins.
Yeah.
And I think you also look at it and they say they have Jeremiah Love, one of the better players in the country. They like CJ Carr. Some say he's top 5 quarterback in the country. Talent wise, it's like you see him there, and they've done what they've needed to in the wins so far this season. Pittsburgh will be a big test. I mean, it will be. I'm glad it's a noon game, preferably.
Right.
Game day is going to be there, so it's a big game. But yeah, I think it's the twofold of like the 2 losses were so early in the year. They figured out the defense, and they've won the way that they have, and the players they have, and what they did last year for the first time. And so, it's just a lot of people just hate Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a fact, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things where they feel like, since they're independent and everything about it, they don't really like them. But I would say recency in the last 2 years under Marcus Freeman, it's like different team. It feels different. It's like the Alabama-Georgia argument where it was like, when Alabama got in over Florida State is because it was Alabama. So, you have those things. And I think that's the kind of the way they look at it. And they're also involving more analytics and computer numbers into the rankings this year. And I talked about the BCS early on. When Notre Dame was like 3-2, the BCS would have had Notre Dame at 3 in the country. So, the way some models work out, it's just the way it is. But it's a long answer for it. But yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have as long-winded of an answer, shockingly. The Notre Dame, honestly, also, I looked at the last playoff ranking, and they probably won't move much. They're number 10. They don't have a lot of wiggle room, I think, in this initial spot. So, yeah, their 2 losses are 2 good teams, 2 at that time. Miami's still a good team. And if we're looking, again, I try to glean when we look at rankings, what's the committee thinking, not to, like, where are we going with this? Because that's all that kind of matters at the end of the day now. They still think Miami's not terrible. That's an 18th team. And then the other team, they lost to an A&M, is the number 3 team in the country. So they're saying Notre Dame, they have 2 losses. We think they're a good team. Their losses aren't bad. They won everywhere else. Pitt will obviously help this. The new playoff ranking next week will also give us an idea of what the committee thinks of Pitt. Since they, if I remember correctly, yes, let me see. No, it's 24th. Yeah. They'll probably maybe slide up a little bit, like Mizzou will go out, stuff like that. So Washington will probably move. So they'll move up a little bit. It'll be a nice little addition if you get it. But I think Notre Dame's in that spot where it's like you can't screw up again.
Yeah.
That 10 ranking is actually, I think, really good. It's like people are going to complain, but it's not like Notre Dame has it guaranteed in here.
Yeah.
It's like if I was like they were like number 5, I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
But like they're 1 loss and out team, and that ranking I think kind of signifies that because they've done everything else right. But the independent schedulers who can schedule a Navy or whatever, and everyone thinks it's weak. Here we are. It's a good football team. Defense needs to figure it out. That's kind of my question mark with Notre Dame long term.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, right? I mean, because it's Texas and Oklahoma were 11 and 12, and they would get knocked out per se in the ranking. So I mean, it's really wishy-washy flipping at it. But yeah, I mean, Pitt is going to move up. I mean, Iowa lost, Mizzou lost, Washington lost, so definitely move up 3. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Louisville and Virginia. Jerry, the people want to know what your hat is.
The one and only Chicago White Sox. We're sneaking it out this week. My Mizzou hat somewhere. I went to the game. I don't know where I put it. It's on Columbia. It's in the house. I don't want to act like
okay. I was like,
I was just very tired. Not even. Yes, I had some fun pregame, obviously, but yeah, it was a long day. Woke up at like 7, drove down there, had a good time, watched A&M be a good football team. Missouri not so much. Drove home, fell asleep.
Man, you did that all in a day?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? It's not as simple as back in the Notre Dame days where I just worked the morning show and then go out and drink afterwards. What a time. That was 2 years ago for people who need to know.
All right, now moving on to the Big Ten. We had some nail biters, right? Indiana and Penn State. Penn State gave Indiana everything that they could, I would say, at the time, with a backup quarterback, an interim coach. I was talking about it with my dad yesterday on our way down to the Notre Dame game of like, Indiana really hasn't been punched in the mouth yet. I'd like to see him kind of get punched in the mouth and see what happened. And hey, turned out they got punched in the mouth yesterday. And then, Mendoza drives them down the field. And Cooper makes one of the greatest catches I think I've ever seen to win a game. I thought he didn't catch it at first.
Yeah.
He was surrounded by a bunch of people, some liking Indiana, me and a couple others rooting for them to lose. And yeah, he ended up making the catch. It was an NFL catch too. I think that's what's crazy about the whole thing.
Yeah. And I think obviously, like, Penn State's a good football team. Regardless of the guys on that team, they are some of the best players in the country. That is just what Penn State is. Even though we've had these issues, I would say a lot of these issues are coaching related. Being kind of in purgatory as a program right now, not really know where you're going to go, what your future looks like. But this team is a good team, and they basically, what else do they have to lose besides give your all to Indiana? If you beat Indiana, that's kind of like your national championship of the year. I don't lose a whole lot of stock on Indiana because this game got so close. What I really like is that Mendoza can lead the team down the field. And what I would say was his Heisman moment thus far of this season is him leading his team down and getting a game-winning drive in pretty spectacular fashion. So that was kind of what I was looking for, really, is that when I saw they had the ball and they had little time left, I was like, this is either going to be like Indiana's oh no moment, or Mendoza is going to go and maybe earn a Heisman right here, which I think is a possibility. Oregon, Iowa, I almost looked like a genius by picking Iowa. I was at the casino. It was my parents' anniversary, so we went to the casino with them, and I am like a madman just staring at this game. Why? It's like everyone's like, why does he care so much? And when Moore threw that pass into field goal range, like the cornerback didn't turn around and play the ball or whatever, I was furious, dude. I wanted Iowa to win this game so bad, but then I was like, I pick a lot of upsets, so like I'm bound to get one right every now and then. Which so far my Illinois USC one is the only one I've really gotten so far. But, dude, I wanted Oregon to lose this game so bad so I could just look like a crystal ball genius, dude, peering into the future.
I love the fact that both of these games were back-to-back because they had such similar vibes.
Yeah.
These felt like two Big Ten games. 27-24 is a high-scoring Big Ten game, I feel like sometimes. It was that back-and-forth nail-biter, who's going to be more physical. Penn State gave it its all. I really like that point, Trevor. Like, this could be your Super Bowl. This could be your national championship. And I know it's a joke that gets thrown around for fan bases here and there, but like, no, this is an easy game to get up for if you're Penn State, even if you're not having the season you imagined. But this kind of just like that drive is one spectacular moment. This catch, I don't know if it's the best of all time, all this and that. It will be one of the most consequential catches I think we've seen in the last 5 years. Yeah. And that's what I think makes it so cool. It's not only that it was a fantastic catch, but you add the stakes onto it because we get a bunch of great catches nowadays. It's awesome. We have some amazing receivers in college football right now. But like the fact that this is the one that wins them this game, because this is not a catch, this game's over. Right. Yeah. And then we're looking at a totally different Indiana. Probably one that still goes to the Big Ten championship with their remaining schedule. But then we start talking about them if it's an Ohio State, Indiana Big Ten championship and they lose this game this week, then they lose Ohio State. We're talking about possible non-playoff Indiana. Yeah. Question mark. Now it's undefeated Indiana continues. And again, going to state college isn't easy. You had a guy who just signed a longer-term deal to keep away from this school too, in Kurt Signetti. And then you come around to the 3:30 game, and then you have this absolute most Iowa City weather, Iowa City game I've ever seen. And then I will give Oregon a lot of credit. This is a young team. It's one thing I keep kind of coming back to is like when everything hits right, you have all the talent in the world, but you have to get it to work together. And I think both quarterbacks in these final drives have that moment that if we want to look at the Heisman, right, Mendoza with the last drive, but also Dante Moore getting this team in fantastic position, making some great passes against an Iowa defense that is fantastic. And then to do it in Iowa City, to have the goal to hit that game-winning field goal, man, what a great week Yeah, I don't know what the Big Ten game was. I actually don't want to know. Or actually, was it Wisconsin technically? Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think so. I want to say
That was
that
on the
game
Big Ten Network, I think. That's what
it
it's
was the
sneaking
Big
on.
Ten Network or Peacock, yeah, because Notre Dame was the NBC game.
Yeah. So what a fun kind of chaotic week within itself. But to have these back-to-back like game-winning drives in your noon and 3:30, that's what you love the sport for. So shout out to both of them. I'm going to put this one out there. Dante Moore for Heisman's kind of sneaky fun. I like Mendoza. I don't like his Heisman campaign name, which is Heis Mendoza.
Yeah,
It's gross.
Terrible.
That's
terrible.
That loses it for you right there.
Yeah.
To everybody, to add important context here, any school that thinks they have someone that can win the Heisman runs a Heisman campaign.
Yeah,
this is not a surprising thing. Like
No.
I don't want to be like, oh my god, Indiana's running the Heisman game for Mendoza. No, duh. There's about like 30 or 40 of these out of here, depending on where. My favorite right now is Ohio State, both Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith at the same time, which
it's pretty
it's
awesome.
a little funny. But yeah, like it's the little things like Heis Mendoza.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, it's disgusting. I mean, but the Heisman, I mean, it's wide open. I mean, that's the crazy thing to take away from it is you don't really know who's going to win it. It's open. Anybody can do something. And Mendoza's going to have the chance, it looks like, in the Big Ten championship game to like have that real moment. So we'll see how that goes. But no, I agree with Trevor. I take away more good things about Indiana after this game than bad things. Because yeah, Penn State is a good team. I mean, it's James Franklin. It would have been funny if they fired James Franklin because they couldn't win these games and then they were to win it without
that'd
him.
be crazy.
It would have been hilarious, but it didn't end up happening. But no, it proves like Indiana, they can do some things. And then if I were to tell you that the weather was going to be nasty, it was low scoring, there was a safety scored, Iowa scored late, you would have thought Iowa won the football game. I mean, that was what Iowa was looking for. That was everything Iowa wanted. Was that right there? Nasty weather, low scoring, grossness to happen, and
Yeah.
Oregon proved they can do it. And this is like the thing with Oregon is under Dan Lanning, which is different than I would say kind of other Oregon coaches. They're physical, they're nasty, they can win these type of games, and they're suited for the Big Ten in ways that they weren't before. And it just shows kind of who Dan Lanning is, and they never really quit. They fight. And they're looking at it. They're trying to redeem from the playoff last year where they got housed in their first game. And I know their team's different in the quarterback and all that, but they're trying to prove like, hey, we can do this. Going to Iowa, winning a game like that is massive. And especially with Iowa being ranked 2, where the playoff committee kind of looked at Oregon and was like, we're going to move you down a little bit. We don't think you're as good as some of these other teams. They go to Iowa, they win that game in a nasty fashion. It proves a lot. So I think both the teams that won proved more than, I think the score dictates. As you look at it and you go, what? They beat Penn State by 3, beat Iowa by 2, but it proved that, look, when they need to get it done, the quarterbacks can get it done, and that helps tremendously moving forward.
Win's a win. Sometimes it's just that simple. Oh, win's a win. These are 2 games that are, again, weren't sexy, weren't pretty, but they're W's on the resume. They are green when you go to the ESPN schedule check, all those things, and that's way better than the red L. Then, because you're talking about these things totally different. You get 12 opportunities. Take every one of them seriously. Every one of one, really important to have. So, fun week of the Big Ten, I have to say.
No, it's a good weekend. All right, looking at some other games before we go to the Big 12. Notre Dame handled Navy 49-10. Jeremiah Love for Heisman. Mendoza, gross. Jeremiah Love had the spinning run. We all thought he was down, and then he just keeps running. Craziest thing I've ever seen. The guy's a beast. A&M controls Jerry's Mizzou 38-17. A&M's a good team, Jerry. I mean, they're different now than when I watched them like 2 months ago.
Yeah. No, this is I think they do a legitimate case for being number 1. I'm not going to put them there personally, but they're there. But this looked like a third-string quarterback playing against one of the best defenses in the SEC. Sometimes just that simple. Fun game to be at, though, even if it was kind of a butt-whooping.
Yeah, robots on the field taking over.
Hey, man, my job. Good thing I'm starting podcasting.
That's all you need. Bama gets past LSU 20-9, similar to Indiana with Penn State. They have good players. They have played well, and they benched Garrett Nussmeier in the game.
He got like his face mask ripped, like his helmet got like ripped off in like disgusting fashion. Like
Yeah, it was pretty
head like this direction, body going this way.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good for the microphone either there as I tried to explain it. But like just one of those weird hits. The LSU really got pooped on in the broadcast, I will say, as someone who doesn't care, but like they're like, yeah, LSU has all the players, but this is what happens when you have this type of culture. It's like, damn. Kind of a scathing review more of LSU, even though it was an ugly win for Alabama. Win's a win.
Who called the game?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I was really tired. This is the night slate after I just watched Missouri get tail whipped. Do you think I was worried about who was on the broadcast? I almost fell asleep during the game.
I was just curious, Jerry. Just curious.
I'm a defensive
sure it was Greg McElroy and Alabama guy. So. Vandy outlasted Auburn 45-38 in overtime.
That's a classic Auburn.
Yeah, even though they fired their coach.
Yeah.
Still same
Lose
result.
by one possession.
And not only that, if you fire the coach that couldn't get you offense, you score 38 and lose.
Yeah.
Like the Pavia Heisman campaign continues, even though he will not deserve it. It'd be fun for him to be close to New York, but that was probably his best game, I think, this year against the weird Auburn team that has talent. It would be a great team for people to shop at the portal.
Yeah, I think you're going to look at the Heisman, and I know it depends on how many guys go, depending on the percentage, but we'll probably have 5 guys be there instead of like 3 that we sometimes have sitting in New York. So that'll be interesting. And then Miami, rolls Syracuse and gets themselves back into the ACC playoff talk. All right, Texas Tech. They beat up on BYU yesterday, 29-7. It was one of those they just kind of controlled from the start to the finish. I mean, they forced 3 turnovers, gave up 255 yards total, only 67 rushing yards. I mean, both of their running backs had more rushing yards individually than BYU did as a team. And they also got their starting quarterback back, and he played pretty good coming back. So Texas Tech is one of those sneaky teams, I think, for not only they're the front runner for the Big 12, but I think sneakily, maybe nationally, with kind of the way that they're kind of made up in the way that they play.
Yeah, I was going to, like, Texas Tech, so we kind of sit here and kind of poo-poo on some of these teams. Like, Ken BYU, we love them. 47, we love. My love story with this guy is like Twilight, dude. I've come full circle. I hated him and now I'm in love with him. But can BYU realistically hang with like an Ohio State or a Georgia or an Alabama? Maybe, but probably not. But I would say that Texas Tech is one of those few teams that are not in the Big Ten or SEC that, like you said, are kind of built to be competitive with some of these teams. I think that Texas Tech has that feel of almost like they're playing some of these Big 12 schools and they're kind of on a different level. Now, I know that they did lose to Arizona State. Arizona State, that was a trappy game. We have those sometimes. But I think that Texas Tech is like for real. I think they can give a lot of teams in the SEC or Big Ten a run for their money. So I would like them to win out. I would like them to make the playoffs because I think that would make the playoffs better if this is the team that represents the Big 12 when we come to playoff time.
Dude, we need to shout out Jacob Rodriguez in this game, a linebacker for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
If I'm looking here, 14 tackles. Did he have 2 picks? I was trying to find the stat line as I was going down. Either way, had a fantastic game. Texas Tech uniforms, ugly. I'm going to tell you that too.
They wore white at home. I'm not a big fan of that.
I don't have a problem wearing white at home. I made this point when I was out with my friends because we were watching this game at one of the bars. And I said, I don't have a problem if you're going to wear, white or blue at home. That like what goes on. Just wear your traditional jerseys in your big games.
Yeah.
This is a top 10 matchup. I want 5 years from now to go back to this game and look at when Jake Rodriguez does something great in the NFL. I'm not saying he's like the first round pick, but let's say he does has a great day for the Bears. Because I always root for good things for my teams. And then I go back and we look at the highlight tapes. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they had those ugly uniforms. Not like, oh, yeah, remember that top 10 game in Lubbock, one of the biggest games in decades? No, I'm going to be thinking about the Patrick Mahomes-inspired chrome jerseys. What? I don't know. We're outside of that rant. BYU is one of those teams, has the talent is there. Sataki's a guy I think should be talked about more for other jobs. I don't know if he wants other jobs, but has done a fantastic job here at BYU. Yeah. But this is kind of a weight class discussion. And when I think of BYU, I really think about what would this team look like with Jake Retzlaff. Now at Tulane, obviously got kicked out for the honor code violation. I say obviously, like every other school in America has this problem. They don't. It's a very BYU specific issue to be exact here. Bear Bachmeier's gotten better throughout the season. Also has a brother named Tiger. I learned that this week. That's also on BYU. Amazing family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dad named Lion, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But it's a freshman QB in a top 10 matchup away from home. And mind you, they didn't even have the tortillas out because that's legal now. Sad. But this is what Texas Tech paid all the money for. This is what they got all that, I don't want to say hype, but attention, right? Because no one really knew exactly how Texas Tech was going to go, but the money told you one thing. The money told you they want to be right here. They want to be in a top 10 game. That's probably your championship decider before you get the championship weekend. This is what you spend the money for. This is what they put the investment into. And it's to win games like this and to Trevor's point, look like the bigger boy team. Not just beat them, but beat them. Hit harder. Play faster. This is scoreless for BYU to like 3 quarters. That's a statement. In like the way this game was played, it was a statement on purpose for everyone across the nation and in the Big 12 that this is what we paid that money for, was for wins like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so BYU could still make it into the Big 12 championship game. I think now they're second with losing, so this could be a rematch moving forward. Jacob Rodriguez had 14 total tackles, 9 solo, 5 assists, 1 fumble recovery, and an interception. And then I seen that they're trying to push him for the Heisman
That's
Trophy.
what I saw.
I think he also struck the pose himself.
I like fun Heismans like this. Like Travis Hunter last year, a lot of fun. We just do quarterback roulette, not as fun. This is fun. I will endorse this. I don't care what they name the campaign. I will not. I'm not slander like Heisman Doza.
I don't know what you do. You do Jake Rod for Heisman. I don't know, something goofy.
I didn't even anything goofy. Just say he wants the Heisman.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's wide open. I mean, anybody could do it. I mean, this is the year to do it. I mean, if Texas Tech continues to go on, he keeps having a great season. You might as well put him in there. But yeah, I mean, he had a good game. I mean, like I said, Texas, and we talked about it. They've spent a lot of money, and it's showing, it's proving. They are winning in the ways you should win, being physical, controlling the line of scrimmage, dominating. And yeah, it makes them look good when you look at the playoff and potentially going up against other teams where it's like, okay, and we last year proved like, hey, Arizona State out of the Big 12 could play against Texas. Maybe you should have won that game. They didn't, but they were able to play against them. So it does help. All right. So I have the results from the picks of this week.
Oh boy.
Jerry, you went 4-3. Trevor, you went 3-4. I went 5-2.
Wow.
Overall, Jerry is 37-32. Trevor, you are 40-41, and I'm 43-38.
Dude, this is insanity.
Trevor, you took some big swings.
Well, you know what? Scared money don't make no money.
No, I mean, I give you credit for taking those big swings. I kind of went safe with some of my picks this week.
My goal ultimately is just to have a really cool pick. That's right.
Well, I will say the one game that really hurt us was a game that the Tulane game clearly hurt us, but we all picked San Diego State, and they ended up losing to Hawaii 38-6.
Shout out Timmy Chang. And the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. What a fun season.
They're 7-3.
They are. This also does knock out the most chaotic aspect and possibility of a G5 playoff contender in SDSU, which I'm not saying it was there, but it was there. We're talking about James Madison. James Madison has one loss. It's to Louisville. It should tell you a lot about their schedule. So SDSU was like sneaking around, like, if we just keep winning and maybe everyone else keeps losing, maybe we're in the playoff. No, shout out to Hawaii. Hawaii and Kennesaw State are two teams I'm just keeping it back of, watching in the background, loving the seasons they're having. It's awesome. Also, I've picked Mizzou in every one of these big games because got to rep the home team.
You have to. I don't.
If I was really trying to win this, man, no, it's okay.
We have some big games this week. Creepy Photo must have just noticed that we were talking about this game as he just typed the Mormons go down. But we have some big games this week. Sneakily, another ACC Friday nighter. Clemson plays Louisville. Little sneaky. Minnesota and Oregon are on Friday night. Sneaky. Notre Dame plays Pitt. Oklahoma plays Alabama. Virginia plays Duke. Iowa and USC play. Texas and Georgia play.
Where's the Iowa USC game at?
USC.
You have a bunch of people from Iowa who just got snow and all this week that are going to be flying to Southern Cal. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of nasty. I wish that game was in Iowa City for the sole fact that you have USC fans having to travel to Notre Dame and Iowa City in the same year. Oh.
They would cry and they wouldn't want to.
They take away fun things from us.
Texas at Georgia. Mississippi State is going to Mizzou.
Oh, that's gonna be a weird game. That's gonna be such a weird game.
So yeah,
I have a great thought right now, but it's gonna be so weird.
TCU also plays BYU. That's a sneaky good game. So I mean, we have some good games coming up. So, yeah, it is. We have some sneaky games coming up this week. But yeah, I mean, look, it's getting down in the home stretch. Playoff rankings.
Crazy. It's kind of sad. It kind of scares me. We're about to be back in the in between times.
All right, Bill, what are you doing with the girlfriend? We need to talk about it for a few minutes. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, which coach is flying on what plane to go to what school, and what's going on. I mean, that's what it gets into. Who's going where, why. We'll have another playoff rankings Tuesday night, and we'll have guys that work for ESPN cry about how Texas A&M beating LSU is a great win. Which that did happen. Desmond Howard tried to make that argument this week on game day.
Didn't really matter. He didn't even make tons of arguments. They were all right in that pick. But I can say, sources can confirm, Missouri folk were not happy with Patrick Mahomes' pick against the home state.
Really?
Yes. There were some boos in the crowd. I was at an 11 a.m. bar. Don't ask me the state I was in at 11 a.m. But there was the people were not happy with Patrick Mahomes going against the great state of Missouri to pick Texas A&M, which was the correct pick.
Well, he's a Texas kid, so I mean, he's going back to his home roots.
Even though that's weird, like Big 12 beef. Like, do you really want to see A&M succeed after they left the Big 12 and you? But besides the point, it was the right pick either way. The other team I pick every week, mentally and physically and emotionally.
The Bears,
the greatest team of all time. We have a quarterback. It's great to see that. The defense was terrible.
I really like Tremaine Edmonds. I think
we love him player.
Too.
Yeah, no, he's a great player. It's just our secondary is awful.
He is a great pass coverage backer. I love Tremaine Edmonds. He's fun to watch. Yeah,
we are very pro Tremaine Edmonds in this house.
Good.
Dude, my question is. Because we'll do the Bears first, and we'll go through all the rounds in the world. Was this the best Caleb Williams game we've had in his career?
Probably. Last week was pretty good. This week was more of like, okay, you need it, go out and do it, and he did it. I think is big. It's probably up there. I mean, I think there's a couple games where he's played good. I thought last year decently, but they end up losing the game. Like Washington, I thought he played good. Like he put him in a chance to win. He won them the game, and then the Hail Mary or whatever. But yeah, no, this is probably they had a lot of drops too. I mean, he could have probably.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't even have the stats in front of me, but Caleb has done a good job throughout his career of making big time plays. Yeah, I think he's kept the Bears in more games than sometimes they even deserve. If we're looking back to last year as well. But for it to all work out in that last gasp run, obviously huge, but the amount of sacks he got out of too. One, he only took, I think, one sack today officially. He could have taken like 6. Like there are some things he scrambled himself out of.
0 sacks, Jerry.
He said he took one when they did the cool post-game video, which I love watching. Good, better, best, baby. Never let it rest. No, I watch all of those. I might watch them multiple times. He's like, oh, I think I took 1 sack. That was on me. And I'm like, sure. It's not like not like I'm stat book watching here as I live react. But no, that felt like I don't want to say a step-up game, but man, that's my legitimate question because even if the stat line isn't its best, because again, I think last week would have been better. Made a lot of great plays, got out of a lot of jams, and didn't make a lot of like big mistakes. He didn't have the stupid pick this week. He didn't have like anything crazy like that. Oh, he had the one early, but like, wow, what a fantastic game. And not fantastic, Buffalo.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, Buffalo? I'm trying to delay Caleb from telling me that Jonathan Taylor should win the MVP as much as I can because it's going to happen, and then we're going to have creepy phone Nolan Mark just have a field day in the comments. So I'm trying to save us a little bit of time by talking about all the other slop like Panthers, Saints. What are we doing there? Duval decided to give up 20-plus points
To a backup.
Duval with a lot of L's at the end. Number 9, J.J. McCarthy went into 9 mode, and they turned the ball over. Like every time I looked at that game, there was a turnover going on there. The Patriots are annoyingly good again. I hate that. And I don't even want to talk about Browns Jets. I just feel like we can just, as a society, we could just say that game happened. We could acknowledge it exists and just be done with it. All right, Caleb, tell me why Jonathan Taylor should be the MVP.
I mean, this guy's a beast. I will say, so Luke Hoxie here said should have waited for the Rams game to finish before making the cover photo. Yeah, I think Matt Stafford really well. He had like 280 yards, 4 touchdowns. But if you look at Jonathan Taylor here, guys, the Colts were. I watched the game because there was nothing else on at that time, so I said I'll watch this game. It's gross. I'll watch it. Their offense stalled. Daniel Jones is slowly starting to look like Daniel Jones that we know and love, which is like, is he good? Is he not? He had a run where he got tackled in the backfield basically, and then took off for the longest rush of his career. It was like 80-something yards. Today he had 244 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. I think he also had 40 yards receiving. On the season, as of right now, he has 1,139 yards rushing, which is first. 15 touchdowns was his first, and he's carrying the Colts, who are 8-2, and a team that we didn't expect to be here at all. So I think we look at quarterback. I mean, you have a team that no one expected to be here, to be this good, and they're being led by this running back, and it's like, looking at it, I mean, what do they have, 7 games left? He could maybe get to 2,000 yards rushing and probably looking at maybe 25-plus touchdowns.
I think he would have to break the rushing record. I think because the quarterback play in the NFL right now is so good, and there are so many guys that I would consider elite quarterbacks. I mean, just like if we just rattle off some, I have a little Drake May, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold. Like it's Matthew Stafford. Like Matthew Stafford has a brilliant case for being MVP.
Yeah.
That team is is probably a top 5, maybe top 3 team in the NFL, and he has thrown for I think top 5 in yards, and then he has 21 touchdowns, leads the NFL, and 2 interceptions. He's turned the ball over 2 times. Like that's elite. That is insane. And Caleb, we remember when we came to our Joe Flacco like conundrum.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys. He's also hanging out for like a really long time too. But yeah, that was fun. I remember that. That was crazy. But also like Drake May. I know we hate to say that the Patriots are good again, but the Patriots are good again. Tampa Bay is a difficult team. Like that is a good team. Baker Mayfield is having a resurgence in his career. Same thing with Sam Darnold. I mean, I know it's the Cardinals, but they got destroyed today. Like, what is the final score? I don't know if it's still going or not, but it's like the Seahawks are in the 40s in an NFL game.
44-22.
Yeah, that is an absolute B to A. I wonder what Sam Darnold's stats are for that game. I mean, we don't have to get super into it, but he's having another career resurgence. My point being is that like there are so many really, really good quarterbacks playing right now. And if Jonathan Taylor broke the record for most rushing yards or whatever, I would be fine with that. But he has to be doing something, which he is. He's having a phenomenal season. I mean, one of the best ever at running back. But there's so much good quarterback play. It's hard to throw that away when you're talking about MVP. To me, that's how it feels when you have so many guys that I would consider elite quarterbacks, because it's insane.
Dude, I like this case. It's a fun case to put in here, especially because I think about this more in the long scheme of things. Last year you had Saquon have an absolutely fantastic year, and the question became like, are running backs worth it? All this and that, and Jonathan Taylor's been one of these guys that every year as the Colts have just kind of been like good but not great, they haven't taken that final step. You're like, dude, this guy's good. Yeah, I know it's some injury problems. He had some fun here, but he had the talent, and this is the year where Daniel Jones is getting you a little bit to one spot, but as he comes back down to earth to some degree, now you have everything else around him to let Jonathan Taylor finally be the running back. I think Colts fans have been waiting for years for him to come out to be, and for him to basically single-handedly take this game and win it, because this was not an easy win. The Falcons are just weird. I don't understand the Falcons. I'm not trying to say they're good, that they're bad. I don't even know if they're mid. I don't know how to classify them. They are a science experiment. That's about it.
Yeah.
But if we would be talking about the Colts very differently right now, if you go out and lose, you have the Daniel Jones stinker performance, right, against what is it? They're playing in a couple hours. Steelers. There we go. I said, look, I played the Steelers last week. Just had a terrible performance. Did not look good. And then you go to Berlin, all the weird time clock, blah 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 blah, and then you go out and lose that game. Now we're talking about the Colts and their whole season very differently. Like, is this a legit team? Not that. No, you go to OT in all the weird environment, circumstance problems, and you win the game, and your best player comes out and has his best game when you need him the most.
Yep.
I also am very thankful we did not talk about Thursday Night Football.
I was just going to ask you, was that the worst football game that's ever happened?
The Broncos are maybe the most fraudulent. Like, what are they, 7-2 team I've ever seen in my life?
Speaking of the Steelers, remember when they went like 11-0 that one year? And they're still terrible. It's like this type of team. That's basically what the Broncos are.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, Washington, I have a lot of questions. I know Jane Daniels is hurt. I know
they'll have a top 5 pick.
But that's a very weird team to me, and it is both a cautionary tale for something I'm actually an advocate for, which is when you start buying in to win now. When it works, right? But when it doesn't, Washington will have questions, because that's now not a younger team that has a really good quarterback, but now has some injury concerns. I'll move us into Sunday night here as they're doing all the pregame stuff. Our pregame's better, so thank you for joining us and sitting here instead. I am very curious to see how this game goes, because I still don't have a great pulse on the Steelers. I think they're just fine. This is the most like Mike Tomlin team ever.
Yeah.
They're just fine. They're good. They're not bad. But I really don't know what to make of LA. They are just another big question mark. They're the other part of the science experiment. Like, I need some team that's like a mean to compare these three teams of whoever's in our middle. I don't know what the most middle team in the NFL is right now, but give me the Falcons and give me the Chargers. And I need to see how this science experiment goes, because those are the two big question marks to me in terms of a lot of talent, have had some good moments, had some injury problems. What are they? Are they a team that's going to make the playoffs, kind of sneak in? Are we kind of just doing this for another year? I don't know.
That's a good question. Who is the most mid team in the NFL?
I don't know.
The Vikings?
No, I think the Vikings might be worse.
They're worse than mid.
Well, I was thinking Jaguars. That's the first thing that came to my head. I don't know. They lose the Texans, but beat the Chiefs. It's like, I don't know.
Could it be the Bears? I know the Bears are like 6-3 right now. But
I think the Bears, because it's like if you look at the Bears like record or their teams they play moving forward, the schedule gets very, very tough, and it's like I was trying to figure out like them getting to even 9 wins is going to be tough. I'd put the Bears up there. The 49ers?
Yeah, I think the 49ers are a good test spot, but they like the 49ers also like the problem I have with the 49ers, I think that's probably I argue that's the best coached football team in the NFL every year, because it does not matter who plays for them. Yeah. You could give that coaching staff as a whole a lot of rosters and probably get a better record, but San Francisco gets beat up every year. Seattle's way too good. I'm just kind of looking through our list here.
Ravens, I mean, like that
maybe, but like also Lamar Jackson's like such a generational talent, and then he gets hurt for 4 weeks. So like, I'm not even thinking about it as just pure records. I'm thinking of like, what's a team that every week you're like, okay, it makes sense. It might just be the Bears. They have beaten every team I think they're supposed to. Like, and then every team they're supposed to lose to, they have lost to. Like, they beat the Raiders, Commanders. With Jane Daniels with a lot of injuries.
Jane Daniels,
But that makes a lot of sense because they're still really banged up.
We beat the Bengals.
Beat the Bengals without Joe Burrow, right?
Beat the Cowboys.
Cowboys might also be a good one here.
Beat the Saints.
Cowboys are also very mid. But I like kind of thinking of this in this thought experiment of how we think of some of these teams that are like just weird and like where do they lie? What's their oddities? and stuff like that, because that's what I feel like I'm going to hopefully get an answer to today, because
the-
arguably the team is the Steelers, as much as you want to hate them.
Yeah.
Because they're the opposing, the opposing team here. But like, kind of thinking one, who's the most middle guy? As I see Caleb Williams is doing the Friday night like FaceTime. What a weird segment, by the way. But hey, what if we just did a worse quality camera interview like this, just vertically? Cool, guys. Like, cool. And then Trav, I will give you the floor. How do we feel about Monday Night Football?
I'm a little scared. I'm a little nervous.
A lot of Eagles fans going to Green Bay though. I saw a video. It was, the flight to Green Bay
I
was
did
full
see
of
that.
Eagles fans.
Yeah, with the government shutdown, you have to leave like 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
I suppose there's a deal that just got reached for that, by the way.
Okay,
Not to break all
nice.
that news in the world, but this is
okay.
a sports show. But yeah,
That's funny that happened. As the president was at the football game today.
he was on the non-major game of the week game too, which is honestly the funniest part.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, is it because he said he wanted the new field to be named after him?
probably.
Maybe. And then they had him on the broadcast. They talked to him for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that. I just was like looked up and I just saw Donald Trump like in the middle of
Dude,
it.
don't worry. LA versus San Francisco is too liberal of a game for him to speak on. Like, let's not lie on it is. But yeah, no, that was the funniest outcome of this is Fox's game of the week is not the one that Trump spoke on. It was the like auxiliary backup game that sneaks in the 3 o'clock window, is where you get the president of the United States doing a live interview. That's the most NFL thing ever. The one time you don't get that as your Fox thing, oh my god,
That's awesome. That's awesome. But I am a little worried about the Packers. They just lost to the Panthers. And I just feel like there's kind of a pattern this year of when a good team loses to kind of a team that they're supposed to dominate, they come back usually stronger than they were before losing. So I am a little nervous. Packers are good. If we lose to them, it's not like end the world. I really don't want anyone to leave this game injured or anything like that. That would really suck. But I did see something. Did you guys see about like the poison pill in the contract? That if the Packers traded Micah Parsons to anyone in the NFC East, they would have to give the Cowboys their 2028 first round pick, which is hilarious.
You're in their head. In their head.
I also love that Jerry Jones is like, you know what? I'm going to give up this talent and make my team worse. But I'm not going to make the NFC any better. Instead, I'll just let them beat us. Like it's such a weird thing that's like such a backdoor weird clause to have. I get it, but like if you didn't want him to leave, go to anywhere else in the NFC East or the NFC, just keep him.
Yeah.
No, why would Jerry? Why would they do that? Trade him and then they go out and they trade at the deadline for a guy. Like
oh my god,
why wouldn't they, Jerry? Because they have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. Jerry, haven't you watched any of their games? That's all they talk about.
Again, I come back to the Cowboys with the sole fact that I can't believe me and my girlfriend both hate their ownership, and for two totally different reasons. One's because of a Netflix documentary, the other one's because I'm like, what are we doing here? It's like cheerleaders, roster management, hating Jerry Jones. Like,
like the Predator movie when they like handshake and their biceps.
It's like, what are we doing here? It's like, we'll get rid of him. We'll give you pennies on the dollar. But if he becomes an Eagle, you're so screwed. Like okay, sure. It's so bad because I might almost start defending Matt Eberflus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, isn't that scary?
My god!
And his defense can't even do that. Like
their defense is terrible.
I know, but again, you get rid of a generational player, and you're like, hey. Congratulations. Here's a decent player. Maybe a pick or two that's kind of late. And it's not like Dallas is like, oh, yeah, we are really good in the draft every year.
Yeah.
Not.
The other funny thing about it, every time you watch the game, it's like, man, if they just had a pass rush. And it's like, well, they had that. It's just how it worked. But I will say their defense is so bad. I don't even think if he was out there, it would maybe he'd get them one more win than what they already have. But I don't think they'd be like Super Bowl caliber like some people think. All right, so I have the odds via FanDuel for who they think is the front runner for the Super Bowl champion right now. Who if you guys had to guess, is number one for odds for the Super Bowl?
Dude, Jesus Christ.
Um,
Give me Matthew Stafford for fun. I like
that's
this.
what I was thinking. That or maybe no, I don't think the Seahawks. I don't know. Not
Sammy
the
Darnold?
Seahawks.
Sammy Darnold?
If you would have said the Kansas City Chiefs are the favorite to win the Super Bowl at plus 550, you would be correct.
Yeah, I figured that would be. I kind of just forget. I moved that away. Who is the second most likely?
I see. Yeah, we were taking
That would be the Philadelphia Eagles at plus 750.
I really like. I mean, I know we beat the Rams. We kind of beat the Rams in a fluky way, though, so I'm not totally sold on that win. We do look way better than we did when we played them. I don't know, man. I would say the Rams.
The Lions are third. The Rams are fourth at plus 850. Then the Bills. Seahawks are right in there. Seahawks and the Packers are tied at plus 1,000. Colts are plus 1,100. Ravens are above the Broncos at plus 1,600.
Vegas knows.
The Patriots are back a ways behind the Broncos, plus 2,500. They
That
got the Chargers,
is crazy.
Buccaneers, 49ers. This is what this one is kind of wacky. The Jaguars are above the Steelers and the Bears.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then the fact that let's see here. 4 and 5. Yeah, the fact that the 4 and 5 to be fair, I know Lamar Jackson was gone, but the 4 and 5 Ravens are higher up than the New England Patriots, who are now at the top of the AFC East.
And they've beaten the Bills, but
they've beaten the Bills.
That's what's kind of funny is they have beat the Bills. Bills are but the Bills beat the Chiefs. It's like a weird, the AFC is just so weird right now.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those where I don't know who's going to win it. Looking at MVP, Drake May, Matthew Stafford, and then Jonathan Taylor.
That's I like that.
Those are my top three. I would say those guys
I like that trio. I like that trio.
I just
maybe Jackson Smith in the jig. I mean, that dude is going crazy too. I know he's a receiver, but Jackson Smith in the Jigba is going absolutely insane. I think a couple weeks ago he was on pace for 2,000 yards, which is insane.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, this could be the year of maybe the non-quarterback. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, because so say that Seattle does really well and they have a bunch of success. Are you comfortable pinning all of that on to Sam Darnold, or do you go?
I mean, we didn't do it Justin Jefferson last year,
right? Yeah,
That'd be kind of your point here to add on. Is Sam Darnold did this exact thing when 14-2 with the team,
right?
And neither Sam nor Justin Jefferson got real MVP hype. They're just they're good at football. And I'm just fine with saying that with Seattle. Oh, they're good at football. And that's a great way to describe that team. They are fun to watch. Absolutely beat up on the Cardinals, which I am keeping a lot of eyeballs on because Kyler Murray time might be done.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think he's played his last games as a Cardinal.
It might be more Call of Duty time.
I honestly think he could just go be a streamer and be fine.
Or he can go back to baseball. Brown. Why not?
I forgot about him playing baseball. Yeah.
I know a baseball team that could use a good arm.
He's on the hat.
And then this is also funny too. Speaking of the draft, looking ahead of it, I just saw this as I was going through the odds. Who do you think right now is the betting favorite to be the number one overall pick?
So the player?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on who has the number one pick, which I would say maybe the Saints or the. So if it's the Saints, it's going to be a quarterback.
Fernando Mendoza, congratulations. Yeah. After your Heisman campaign fails, you are a New Orleans Saint.
Barry, you are wrong.
I know he's got a buzz for it. I don't think it's actually
he's the best odds for number 2. Number 1 is Ty Simpson.
I was going to say Alabama. Yeah. I think that's I don't mind that. I don't love Alabama quarterbacks barring Jalen Hurts and maybe Tua. Trying to think of other really Bryce Young.
Hello, Mac Jones. How are you doing?
Yeah, Mac Jones is kind of having a resurgence a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I don't
crazy.
hate that. I mean, they have to get a quarterback. Spencer Rattler and like whatever's that is
Hey,
not.
Tyler Shook just
Tyler
decided
Shuck played good today.
to be
Yeah,
a good quarterback
yeah.
today. I do fear that
Where
was
did
the
he
lack
come
of
from?
film. Texas Tech. He was a three schooler, if I remember
Gotcha.
correctly.
Yeah, Texas Tech, Louisville. He played at Louisville last season.
Louisville.
Put up numbers.
Yeah,
He's
he
like
was like
20. He's like 26.
Yeah.
It's pretty old. The team right now with the number 1 overall pick would be the Tennessee Titans.
Titans. Wow. I kind of, since they're not on this graphic, I kind of forgot they existed.
That I think Tennessee wants it that way. I think if you just got through this season and nobody talked about him and they just let Cam Ward get some snaps in, they would be happy.
Oh, so with that what you just brought up, Caleb, is that putting it in like that Ty Simpson is number 1? Is that with Tennessee having the number 1 pick?
No, they would. I
Or is
would
that-
guess that they would
yeah.
assume that Tennessee would trade the number 1 pick.
Gotcha.
And that somebody would move up to get a quarterback. And because as of right now, it's Tennessee 1, New Orleans 2, Giants 3, Cleveland 4, Jets have the 5th pick, Raiders have the 6th, Dolphins have the 7th, Washington has the 8th, the Rams have the 9th pick from Atlanta, and then the Bengals have the 10th pick.
What so like if the Titans kept their
They would probably go with Ruben Bain, would be my guess from
And
Miami. The
I
defensive.
was thinking, okay. I was thinking they almost went. There's no way they pick receiver first pick. That's crazy. It'd have to be like a really, really good. Like if Jeremiah Smith,
He's another year.
a sophomore,
he's
yeah,
another,
so he doesn't. I was thinking maybe like the USC Makai Lemon.
Makai Lemon's pretty good. I mean,
but that you can't first pick.
Not him. No,
Yeah.
you can't. He's not like Jeremiah Smith. Yes, you could probably take that gamble. He's like when Calvin Johnson went to the Lions.
Yeah.
My guess is the Titans would probably just trade the pick because they need a lot of help, and they would try to get as much draft capital as possible, and hope that you have a team maybe that really likes Mendoza. I'm thinking Mendoza is going to be the number 1 quarterback taken. He could also come back to school, so nobody really knows there. But yeah, looking at it, it is weird to think that we're starting to slowly look ahead to that, as the NFL.
I'm not. As a Bears fan, this is a great sentence for you to say because you're not there yet. The fact I have not looked at tankathon.com is amazing.
That was my first time I just looked at it for the program.
Awesome. Like, I'm not thinking about this right now. I was talking to my buddies who are all Bears fans, and I'm like, yeah, if we're like in the middle of the first round, my brain's like, well, right now we're like in the middle of the first round, if not kind of in the back end. What do we do? Like, this is awesome. I'm not thinking about like the top 10 draft prospects. This is great. We're going to be there later when the second half of the schedule just slowly tail whips us. But it's been fun not to go and take it.
Yeah.
I won't lie. Haven't had to do it for the Bulls yet. Haven't had to do it for the Bears.
I won't say usually at this point with the Bears, I'm just like lose. Just like, let's just start losing. And now I'm like, hey guys, let's win some games. Like, let's look good here. Like, let's figure this out. I think we have a good little nucleus going on here.
Yeah, I agree. I was just talking to Elaine. Elaine comes over and watches the Bears at our house because we have like red zone and stuff. And I was like, I have so many Bears friends. Like I'm by proxy becoming a Bears fan, just because. Yeah.
Might as well. Great city. Everything's beautiful.
I will say though, I think the Eagles and Bears do play this year.
Yeah, they play Black Friday.
Also hate that. Just hate that personally. A Friday football game, post-Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Ew. Capitalism wins again.
Bear down.
Every day of the week they play football now. It's just kind of how it is.
Hey, let Maction sing alone on Tuesdays, please.
Oh, we love Max.
Let me have the little things.
Max is great.
That Bears-Eagles game is also at 3 o'clock.
Ew, dude.
3 o'clock on Amazon Prime Video.
That's insane.
Don't matter.
We're
her.
So yeah, I mean, look, football it's happening.
It's slowly. We gotta appreciate it. We gotta slow down and smell the roses here, fellas, because we're about in about what 3 months.
Hey, we still have a coaching carousel.
Yeah,
this is the beauty of this. We're still gonna have plenty of football, and hey, basketball season's here too, baby. The season Caleb's been waiting for because his Michigan State Spartans have not done anything in football. Thank you for beating Arkansas and John Calipari. We do appreciate
it.
That here.
It's Tom Izzo. I mean, you can't bet against the guy. That's all he does is win. He like complains and then he just goes out there and just dominates.
Yeah, how we had the Unkoff in football a couple weeks ago with like Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. Did we have the grandpa coach off there in East Lansing of John Calipari and Tom Izzo?
Like 34 years for Calipari and 31, I think, for Izzo.
Yeah, that's the grandpa off. We're not even in Unk territory. Like,
no,
that's God uncle at this point.
That.
Yeah, we're in grandpa territory, but love that. Love that college basketball. And NBA's back. Bulls are back. That's all I'm going to say.
Slow down on NBA talk. We'll talk about them when Christmas.
Just got reminded it's there. NBC broadcasts are cool, by the way.
They are cool. I mean, it is fun to it does make you be like, oh, the NBA's back. And then it's like, then you remember it's still November.
Are they doing like NBA Cup stuff right now?
Yeah, yes. I think so.
Great, terrible floor for the NBA Cup in Minnesota.
Yeah, it was like a line. It looked like Nickelodeon.
Yes, it's like if the slime thing was just happening all game. It was like radiating off a jersey. So like the Timberwolves had like a white stripe like above the chest. That whole game, it was green on TV because that's how bright the court was. And on some players' teeth, if they were white enough, were green. Like that's where we were at. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's weird times, but yeah, no worry, boys, we're still here. Snowing outside, football's on the TV.
Yeah, is it snowing here right now?
It's one of the few times I think in our existence we will let our fans enjoy Sunday night football in entirety.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Look at us go.
That's where we're at.
We just ran the ball today. Ran the clock.
Yeah, we did. It was like the Navy Notre Dame game. It was a very quick game. I actually loved it.
It was quick, yeah.
I loved it. It was the first time ever watching Military Academy and the appreciation. Not a lot of boos when they came out. It was a lot of clapping and cheering and USA chants, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Trevor will be back Wednesday. Do midweek. We'll break down the college football playoff stuff. Big week in college football for picks. Hopefully Trevor can slowly figure it out. And get
hey, dude. Hey, don't worry about what I got going on.
You can't kill the man. You can kill the man. You can never kill the idea.
That's right.
All right. We'll see how it goes for him.
I'm like Guy Fawkes from the movie V for Vendetta.
It's just your theory just has
remember the 5th of November.
just trying to help you out here. That's all I'm trying to do.
The gunpowder treason and plot.
But whatever. So we'll be back Wednesday and then we'll be back Sunday to break everything down, talk about it as the week goes on.
You know what? I'm going to make it my goal. I'm doing better than you this week. We can put something on it. I am beating you in picks this week, pal.
All right. As the arbiter now of the challenge here.
Yeah.
Loser.
Yes.
4,000 calories down the gullet Sunday, baby.
I might have a heart attack.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the guy that used to be able to do it, if he couldn't do it, I don't know.
We'll figure something out. Hey, your child's program, if your child watching, cover your ears. Your ass is grass, buddy.
All right, we'll see.
I'm WWE style calling you out.
What if we all pick? What if we pick the same games and it's a push?
I won't let that happen.
You can kill the man. You can never kill the
idea. What about a pie to the face?
I'll do a pie to the face. I'll let you pie me in the face if I lose.
All right.
And then I'll pie you in the face if you lose. Yeah, that
works.
I can do that. Don't do it too hard though. I got like sensitive notes and stuff.
No, we'll get a nice gentle pie.
Yeah, like
we're gonna try to look at like Daniel Jones in Berlin.
Yeah, I'm like bleeding. Like
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm down with that. If we have another idea, maybe the loser has to do like the one chip challenge or something.
Yeah, I don't know. This ain't
that big. Why are you running?
This ain't that big of a thing. Maybe overall in the season.
No shot, brother. I'm cooked. But hey, 1 week and 1 week only.
We'll see. See how it goes.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of faith, but I'm gonna try really hard.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm hoping.
Trevor bringing notes for screwed.
I'm hoping that hurts you.
Yeah, I could overthink it here.
Yep, that's my goal.
I used to do notes, and then now I'm just like, I've seen enough of the college football playing. But then you bring up like San Diego State, and I'm like, I have no idea.
really, none of us knew anything.
Yeah. I do know that the whole Hawaii had that Japanese kicker.
I'm so glad that that's the fact we took away.
No, he's
Yes.
from Japan. Yeah, the CNN. My kids watch CNN 10 at school. We watch it together, and he was on CNN 10. He's from Japan. He was really good at soccer, and then he got in trouble or something. So then he had to stop playing soccer. Then he's like, I'm going to watch YouTube and learn how to kick field goals and stuff. And he kicked a field goal to beat Stanford the very first game of the season. So
Wow,
That's right.
wow, that's crazy insight you get there.
yeah.
That
But that's just the smallest. It's just a small fragment of my mind's power, Caleb.
okay.
You're done for, pal.
All right, we'll see. So me and Trevor in picks this week. I say we pick 20 games and we see where it goes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
Christ.
Oh,
I say we do that.
Okay,
Good.
we gotta do like a speed round though.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, we'll be back Wednesday for that, and then Jerry will be back with us on Sunday.
I can't wait to have to text you 20 different teams on
Another
Wednesday.
day, another dollar.
Jesus Christ.
As always, thanks for watching.
Peace.